For years, Minecraft hardcore players have pushed the limits of what can be built in Minecraft. Some players decided to recreate Parkour Spiral, some players decided to recreate a government building in San Antonio, but me, I decided to recreate my real life school. The place where I actually learned. And you might be wondering, why would I want to recreate my entire school? It's because this wasn't just a place I visited regularly. It's a place where I learned to socialize to be a better person. So by recreating it, it will be a memory that I would treasure for years to come. But how was I going to build it? Well, let's do this. But to be able to build the school, we have to actually go there. So the first thing I had to do was get my car and drive to school.
Cyclists.
Okay, we have arrived. Welcome to the sunny hills of California. Wait, what's California? Is it?
All right, so I'm in school right now, and we're going to take note of the infrastructure that's being put here. So according to what I see, this infrastructure looks like it's made of like white concrete or something. Now what I have to do is to find a map, and let me go toward the school real quick. So the first thing I need to go here is the gyms, where people get strong. Yes, these gyms. I don't think anyone's here yet, but anyways, welcome to the place of very effort. So if you go outside, then let me go outside real quick, give you a tour. So this is where outside is. So this is, I think this place is where I think my YouTube short with 1.6k views got crazy. All right, so anyways, my goal is to try to find a map, because for some reason in every classroom today I think log a map of the school so I can use it as a blueprint for my hardcore progress. Good morning. Great. Good. Now what I have to do is to go to my first class, which is game design, because we're gamers, yes, even as a Minecraft YouTuber. So what I have to do is to go upstairs and find some found footage of some classrooms here. Alright, welcome to the hallways. So if the class would open, then we will be able to find the map. Now my first task is to try to find my school has 2 floors, so I need to find a classroom from 2 floors so we can easily get to the exit and recreate the class in Minecraft. Well, we can definitely try the biology room, but it's very closed. Why is it open? Oh, there's not a lot here, but I can definitely find some. Oh, where's the map? Where's the flipping map? You can't see it. I guess this is a must. Okay, let me go check in algebra instead. Literally no map. Where are the maps, guys? I did find one geometry though. And in the first floor, there seems to be another one here. I think we might be good here.
8 hours later.
Alright, time to return to the Minecraft car.
Look at this, look at this. It's ridiculous, blocking up the roads.
Alright, I'm back. So by using all the maps that I have gathered, and yes, it did include the new 3rd floor the school introduced that, I decided to create the schematic of the school and to create a world I had with World Edit. And I soon figured out that this wasn't just any ordinary project. This project will take over 245,000 blocks. It would take 143 shulker boxes to fit all these blockers. If we horizontally placed all the blocks in one direction, it would basically stretch the distance between Amsterdam and Brussels, and maybe put a waffle in kilometers next to it. Ooh, the Belgians will want that. The second thing we had to do was get all 143 shulker boxes needed, so I spent a heck of a lot of time in the end killing shulkers to be able to get enough shulker boxes. And after that long end journey, it seems like we have a respectable amount of shulker boxes to start getting the materials. So the dominant block needed for the school is white concrete, and a lot of them. About 88,147 white concrete, or 51 full shulker boxes of white concrete with a few to spare. Originally, I wanted to do smooth quartz, but it took way too long to be able to grab quartz and smelt it. And believe me, I tried. It took a few hours and I barely got a shulker box of quartz done, so I used white concrete and it was a heck of a lot faster. With that method, with just spending a lot of time mining sand, gravel, and white dye, I managed to get a few shulker boxes full of white concrete powder, but turning them all to concrete will be hard. I decided to make a fully automatic concrete converter. By using this tutorial from Shulkercraft, credits to him for explaining it, I took the time to make the concrete converter. and I'll try my best to explain how it works. First thing you do is put the concrete powder that you want to convert to concrete into a chest for it to be dispensed to you when placing the blocks. Then you press this button and the blocks will dispense to you. With that, you try your best to place all the concrete powder as quickly as possible, possibly by either using auto click or changing your controls for the place block. The concrete powder, since it is touching water, or technically waterlogged leaves, will convert to concrete, and the piston that is powered by a redstone clock will immediately push it down. Then the TNT that is duped will infinitely fall down and blow up white concrete. It did take a while for the TNT to destroy the blocks due to the water accidentally falling down, but with a few YouTube comments, it was 100% working well. When I pressed this button, I managed to convert many white concrete powder to concrete very quickly, and we got a few done. But the problem is, we barely made a fraction of the 51 choco boxes of white concrete we need, so we need to speed up the process. Ladies and gentle gamers, I present you the Gravity Duper. The Gravity Duper with some Shulkercraft, because why not? So of course I cleared out an area in my end portal and built a machine that will be able to dupe with concrete powder. Creating a collection in the end, and after building it, the duper works.
Look at it. Yes, it works.
So I spent an hour AFKing and maybe build some random base in the end to pass the time. And after putting all of them in the concrete converter for possibly a lot of hours, I finally collected all the white concrete needed for the school, with some to spare. And look at how big this double chest is with all this white concrete. Next, I just spent some time clearing and modeling out what the school looks like. This school is going to cover a 261 by 233 area. To put it simply, basically this entire place biome. Now we have to gather about 10 silver boxes worth of white terracotta, which is possible to gather just by mining in the mesa. But there was just one problem. I don't have a beacon, and with the regular efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe, you can insta-mine white terracotta. So to be able to gather the terracotta, I decided to fight some wither skeletons to get a wither skull. And to get aura, I put the wither fight into YouTube shorts. This was to construct the beacon. Then I went to the mesa, and there, the white terracotta mining began. Okay, why am I doing a montage? Now I am done with my white terracotta collecting. After that, I just collected plenty of materials that are straightforward to collect, although it obviously took a long time because 245,000 blocks are not easy to collect. But overall, I managed to finish the collecting process with many shulker boxes filled to the brim with a lot of crazy stuff. So the first thing I had to do to actually build the school was, of course, to clear out the 261 by 233 area for any hills and mountains that could potentially be a roadblock for the construction process. Then I went through the exhausting process of getting the grass blocks needed to fill this entire empty space of plains with them. And if you thought that this took a few hours, no. It took weeks to finish that process up. I had to fly to Indonesia for vacation to be able to fill 100% of the empty space with grass blocks. And once it was finished, I was already way past day 1000. After the tedious process of collecting 245,000 blocks and filling the empty 261 by 233 space with grass blocks, I was ready to load in the schematic and actually create my IRL school. And by this point, I can't believe that I was actually creating one of the most important places in my life. This IRL school wasn't just a school, it was a second home with many great people. Enough of those. So for the building segment, I will explain a lot about my history in each place of my school, and this is where it actually gets fun. Now that the tedious process of having to collect everything is done, the first thing that I will create will be the entrance gate with white concrete and warped slabs. This is the main gate that many people in my school use to enter the school grounds. Then I created the model of the actual parking lot areas surrounded by polished diorite, smooth stone, and stone brick slabs. I again also made some leaves, glowstone, shade with warped slabs, and some gates so students can easily enter and leave the school to of course get to their homes. This was dominantly the first thing that I will always see when going to school. Then I made made the actual parking lot with mushroom blocks and some white concrete that shows drivers where they should park. After this, I finished the security house, the check-in area, and the parking lot seems to be complete. So now the next thing that I had to do was create a lot more fences that surrounded the school. You'll see why. So I created some stepping stones with a few stair routes that will go up to the school entranceway. After this, it was actually time to create the brick platform right on top of the parking lot. The first thing I covered was the area near the high school rotunda, where I filled the area with bricks and did leave some space open for some trees and a small green garden, because why not? Next, I will be creating the brick platform that leads to the main entrance of the school, which includes the buildings of the upper elementary and middle school areas, with of course main vegetation areas and coarse dirt, which can include the bushes. Whilst I was doing that brick platform, I also did a raid for no reason. But after that, I decided to continue building the platform for the area around the opposite rotunda in my school, and of course this big water area that has a bridge for some reason, because my school has them and I run here for the terraforming every year. Then of course I also built all the trees and bushes needed to fill the platform, because it makes the school more green, and more green, more good. So yeah, now all the trees and gardens I needed to fill are filled. So finally, after that nonsense, I will be able to create the building. To start construction on the building, I immediately got white concrete, warped doors, and blue stained glass paint. Then I started building the entrance, aka the main rotunda, which took a lot of white concrete. There I also managed to add the floors, TV, tables, stairs, leaves, and the rotunda that showed many paintings that show the Tree of Life. This is what the main rotunda looks like now. Now the main rotunda is finished. The next thing that I have to build is the middle school and upper elementary hallway on the sides. So first I did the right side by first adding the hallways and the classrooms, then the barrels. On this side of the hallway, there was the math and science room for all grades in middle school. This was where most of us 6th grade was chilling also. On the other side of the hallway, this is where my homeroom is, and this is the area where I'm actually learning geography and social studies. I was here when I was in 7th and 8th grade. I also remember in elementary school, there was a music room there. The middle school hallway was basically a third place for a lot of us students. It is not only a way to transfer to other classes, it's a place for us to socialize. Now the next thing that I'm going to build for the school would be what I'd like to call the common hallway, where I feel like all grade levels would tend to diverge. First, I created some hallways that branched the middle school hallway with common hallway. Second, I placed a lot of white concrete as per usual that fills the entire building. Third, I started by building the first floor with the white terracotta and the white concrete that will help me differentiate the room layout. Fourth, I created the second floor with the same materials and diverse layout, each with a unique purpose. This included places like the choir room and the old computer science room that I used to go to when I was in middle school. So to finish this common area, we had to find a way to connect the two branches of this middle school hallway, which is very easy to do with white concrete, white terracotta, and of course the diverse layout, which is both feasible on the first floor, which has many art areas, and the second floor, which contains the band room. This will allow the students to access the libraries in middle school and high school. And trust me, I've spent a year having a homeroom in the middle school library. Next, we had to extend this common hallway to the high school rotunda. As per usual, we used a lot of white concrete to build the building and structure, and we also used white terracotta to create the ground for both the first floor and the second floor. This area of the school will have the old biology room, the health room, and many other random rooms that connect the common area to the high school. I am glad to show the high school area because I had plenty of moments here in 9th grade. After this, it was time to actually create the high school rotunda. The rotunda was basically what you expected, a stair highway that allows you to go to the high school hallway, and also many seating areas intentionally designed to be third places for students to socialize. We also had plenty of blue glass and glowstone to light up the area. Sometimes to get to school in high school, I entered this rotunda since it's easy to walk there. Now I had to start building the actual high school hallway, and this was going to consume a lot of my white concrete. Now it is time to create the high school / elementary hallway, the second major hallway in my school after the one near the front. First, I built the brick platform that surrounds it, so I used white concrete to fill the building edges, as usual. And I also used white terracotta for the first floor for the lower elementary students, and white terracotta yet again for high school students. And this was the area I spent a good amount of time in my high school career. I even decided to break dance there almost every morning because that's how I get my 60 minutes of daily exercise, because I don't take sports or extracurriculars. I know, pretty weird. And don't worry, I also built the barrels in the classrooms for both floors, and it seems like the high school hallway seems to be done. Not only are there classrooms, this is the high school office, and I also plan to build the third floor from the stairway. Next, we actually have to build the area where the high school library and commons are, and also the elementary school cafeteria, which is where the company that owned my cafeteria does their cooking. So again, I had to get my handy white concrete and white terracotta to make the edges of the build along with glowstone. Then for this occasion, I decided to actually create the interior for parts of the elementary school cafeteria, with plenty of seating and also some few rooms for the people to cook in, because why not? After that, I decided to create the interior of the next floor, the high school commons and libraries. The high school common has plenty of tables for lunch, a whiteboard because assemblies are actually done here, and they actually sit here for lunch. I usually sit with a friend who's actually a YouTuber with 210 subs, named Gabe, I think. Shout out to him. Then there's the library that I filled plenty of bookshelves, seating, and some paintings. This is the common area for most high schoolers that are looking to chill, socialize, and read, so I knew exactly what it looked like. I also made a pretty mid-sized stairways so the workers will be able to transfer between floors as well. But surprisingly, my school recently opened a new science and technology section on the third floor that can be used for science and technology classes like physics, biology, chemistry, and computer science. And I've got to say, it's been used well. So now I have to actually create the third floor in my Minecraft hardcore world. The stairway that goes to the third floor would have to be extended. And once you reach the third floor, I filled that area with many restrooms and storage rooms that my school actually created some glass doors that you could build the interior of my school later. But the layout of the Science and Technology Center is actually crazy and is literally a whiteboard integrated into the table. If you are actually a student in this school, you are absolutely bougie in this area. Now it looks like I am finally done with the high school and lower elementary school hallway. So after that, I had to continue building in the common area. So the first thing that I built was the library commons for both middle and elementary school. I built it with white concrete and white terracotta, as per usual. And you can probably see what it might look like, but I prefer it to be empty and I add the library stuff later. I also added another hallway, which would be intended to be used for athletics, so watch out for that later, and there will also be some restrooms near here. The next thing that I plan to build will be the gyms. So now we will be heading to the athletics section of the school. My school has two gyms, the blue and the green gym, so I decided to place a lot of white concrete glowstone and blue stained glasses around the gyms. Then to make the gyms, I had to place a lot of green and blue terracotta, and also added glowstone to represent the unique flooring of the two gyms, the blue gym and the green gym. To make it more like a gym, I added plenty of basketball hoops, a glowstone that says zombie because I didn't want to leak the name of my school, and also some benches. Many PE classes use these gyms to play PE games, and some extracurriculars use this for volleyball and basketball. Those who like to play football, sorry, you must play outside. Now the green and blue gyms are finished. I spent a good amount of time creating the hallway, and also made some more brick platforms adjacent to the gyms. I did spend some time working on the playgrounds and the basketball courts outside. Next, I wanted to create the performance hall. Many drama performances were done here, and I know I rehearsed for 2 musicals, and I also breakdanced here for socials a lot. So I added an audience section with warp stairs, added some sign banners and warp doors for the stage. I even added many wardrobes in the back room. Not the back you're thinking of. In the back, there's the tech center that focuses on lighting, which is infinitely customizable. Well, not Minecraft. It looks like the performance hall seems to be done, and it's full of a lot of great stuff, and also spent a good amount of time creating the swimming pool. Yeah, my school has a swimming pool, and it's outside. I decided to make the swimming pool out of red and blue banners, and also some stone bricks. You will definitely enjoy the swimming, just as long as you don't get in with your school clothes. Believe me, I've tried. But it doesn't look like that. Next, now that the common area is almost basically done, we have to go to one of the final hallways we have to build. The one that goes to the third and final rotunda that my school has. So as per usual, I took a lot of white concrete and white terracotta to build the first floor and the roof of the school building. After that, I also implemented a simple yet orderly room layout. for the second floor. The first floor would have the board of directors where they direct the direction where the school is going. The second floor would give students access to language learning like Spanish and Arabic. Then we will actually create the final rotunda. There I decided to create another staircase, barrels, and some seating for language learners to chill. Don't think I forgot to create a brick platform near here, and also create an amphitheater just outside. Finally, we will be working on the preschool and the world language hallway. To build this hallway, I of course spammed the heck of white concrete, and of course the sweet white terracotta that also needs to be floored. The first floor would be the preschool, so I added a few classrooms in the room layouts and a restroom between them. The second floor would be the world language section, which has been the section in school where you can learn languages like French, Spanish, and Arabic no matter what grade you are in. Both hallways seem to have full of barrels to represent lockers, because why not? So after a few hours of tackling that, it seems to be finished. I even connected the brick platform so more people could be able to hang out outside. The next thing that I plan to build will be the lobby of my school's biggest performing arts center. This is what my school calls the Bosch lobby. This lobby will be one floor, but it can fit 2 floors. So I built up the lobby with a lot of white concrete. Then for the floor, I picked up the classic white terracotta and I decorated the area with blue stained glass to make the school look cool. I actually used this area a few times for a project. This is what the presentation looked like. There was also a circular entrance space where visitors can flock to the Performing Arts Center to watch their kids sing and play instruments. Now finally, I'm going to build the Bosch Center. In my school, the Bosch Center is an important place for the school's biggest performances and events. There's a big audience space, a stage, a backstage area, and an area where you can activate the lights. This is typical in many theaters, and this is a popular place for choir and band performances, whole school assemblies, big projects, and even graduation. This is a massive space for many of my friends' parents to come and support their kids. I do particularly enjoy the special occasions that come with it, and when I put that into Minecraft, it looks nice. I also added some minor things like the green room where the performances can chill, and now it seems like the entire building is done, but the outside seems to be lacking, so we need to change that. After spending a short time finishing up the walls around the school grounds, the first major thing I needed to properly build was the Bosch parking lot. This was like a healthy combination of mushroom blocks and white concrete. I even added smooth stone and oak slabs in the middle to show the drivers where they needed to park. However, there's no cars in Minecraft, so it just exists. The second major thing is to fill these empty spaces with grass. This is useful because this could be used for sports like soccer, track, and whatever this is. So I spent a lot of time manning lots of grass blocks. The reason why I needed grass blocks was to fill the field with this grass block. I even filled the amphitheater with grass blocks. So after hours of filling the field with grass blocks, it seems to look like the field is finished.
We, I think, are finally finished with the exterior of the school. It's been like a month of working on the exterior, and my goodness, this baby is crazy. Well, I do have a schematic mod on because I couldn't find a way to mentally map myself with like 245,000 blocks. But anyways, it's time for us to make the interior and get rid of the schematic for a while. Alright, so this is what it looks like unloaded. Well, I haven't put anything yet, so let me start putting in some proper interiors in, so this is going to be fun.
So let me actually show you my interior building process.
So I took the time to gather the stuff needed for my first interior room. My first interior room would be the high school French classroom. I placed a lot of tables, chairs, barrels, a white banner, trapdoors, and a yellow bulletin board. I also added a lot of bookshelves and a blackboard so that students would be able to learn French. And I also added some random decorations because why not? Now this sounds more French. Next, I created the English room. For the English room, I placed plenty of tables, couches, bookshelves, whiteboards, and some black banners. And I also put some signs. I also added a sink, which I would be able to replicate in many of the classrooms, and this for the kids to practice hygiene. The third thing that I plan to build was the band room, where I put a whiteboard and some barrels and stairs so the students will be able to practice their instruments. I also crafted some note blocks to put in the band room. Okay, now I actually put some more note blocks in the band room. Now it's actually time to create the interior of the high school / lower elementary school hallway. So I filled a lot of the high school classrooms with banners, whiteboards, barrels, chairs, and tables. I put the design in the history classrooms, the algebra and geometry classrooms, that one other English room, and even more red rooms. And when it is finished, the interior design is actually crazy. I mean, I even created some restrooms.
Looks like the high school compartment is done. So now we have to get to middle school.
Next thing I had to do was create another social studies room with plenty of books, barrels, and whiteboards. After that, I also made plenty of offices with computers, drawers, and all that random fiddle fluff. Next, I had to create the health room with stone bricks, drawers, sinks, giving a true health vibe here. Also didn't make the old biology room for no reason. It does have a broom stand and barrels, because why not? Next, I will be creating the MSLC, one of the most notable common third place areas of my school. I built plenty of barrels, tables, and chairs, and also made this MSLC banner. Then I decided to create the entire library with bookshelves and signs that could eventually tell the reader which genre they are reading. Adjacent to the library, this was the middle school cafeteria. I built a table where they served the food and also created many tables and benches. I also created the closet area near it and made a stairway. The MSLC again was a major place I went to before school because I had an opportunity to read and maybe watch Donnie Bobs. Next, we are going to create the middle school hallway, so I spent a lot of time gathering materials like barrels, stone bricks, cauldrons, tables, and chairs to be able to fill all these rooms. I filled this stuff in many rooms like the English rooms, the social studies rooms, the math rooms, and the science room. Now the middle school classroom actually looks good. I even created some more restrooms, but there's one hallway that's still empty, the newly opened 3rd floor. Recently, sometime in April 2025, the school opened the 3rd floor, so now we have to create the interior of all the 4 of the science and technology rooms. So I took the time to create all of the science and technology with stone bricks, barrels, sinks, whiteboards, and even broom stands. I even added some restrooms and storage rooms because for some reason my school has them. So right now the 3rd floor looks good, but I hope they add beanbags so the students can find other ways to chill, although I had a fun time developing a video game prototype with my friends. Now the next thing that I have to create is more of the common area. So I created the choir room with plenty of stairs in the back so the choir students can easily sit and practice singing. Even had a whiteboard and note block. Okay, this was supposed to be a piano, but for some reason it decided to play drums. Maybe drums are actually kind of useful. After that, I created the learning support room. I added barrels, a whiteboard, and some couches. Got a door in the back as well, for no reason. The next room is the old computer science room with a boxing ring for robotics classes, some tables, whiteboards, and some random fiddle fluff. Next, I decided to create a restroom that is near the green gym for no reason, again. Then I decided to create a tech office with plenty of tables, barrels, and even some computers. The tech office is used, but you legitimately have to need to fix your computer, and I have used this place a few times. Now it is time to create the world language adjacent to the final rotunda. So I built the Spanish classroom with barrels, tables, chairs, and a whiteboard. Then I built the Arabic heritage room for advanced Arabic speakers, and I also created some random rooms for no reason. After this, I decided to create the interior of the main world language classroom. There, I created the Arabic as a foreign language classroom for high school, the Spanish ELL classrooms, some PRO rooms, the other Arabic and French classroom for middle school, and the other restroom that I sometimes use during language class. Now it looks like the 2nd floor is already done, so now it's time to work on the 1st floor. So the first thing I decided to create on the 1st floor would be the elementary school kitchen. To create this kitchen, I decided to take advantage of the kitchen supplies that I had, like barrels, stone bricks, furnaces, smokers, and iron frames to absolutely fill this entire kitchen area with many of these blocks. After this, it was time to create the lower elementary school hallway. Since lower elementary school is a lot more chill compared to higher classes, I was nice enough to give the students some carpets for circle time, along with the other materials that made a classroom. This was to help make the early students at home. I tried my best to replicate it because I don't go to this classroom that often. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks like a decent hallway. Oh, and make sure, don't forget the restrooms. Nice. So it looks like the lower elementary hallway seems to be done, but there's still a massive distance between the high school rotunda and the elementary school library. So you have to do some things with these offices. Yeah, I get that. It's very basic, but it just makes the school look nice. But now it looks like I found the elementary school library, so you know what I'm going to do. Spend an unnecessary amount of time gathering enough bookshelves to make the library. I took a lot of time creating the elementary school library with bookshelves, tables, and all the elementary school fiddle fluff. After this, I had to spend some time creating the 2 art rooms. Why need art when you've got art? of making an entire school. Also, one art room is for middle schoolers and both is for elementary schoolers. And after that, I just spent some time creating even more random offices, and I created the high school art room for aesthetic purposes. Then finally, I created the nurse room, which is good to visit from all sides of the school. Now that I'm done with all the common areas and all the sections on the left side of the school, now I have to create the upper elementary hallway. Since I didn't officially get a grasp of what the upper elementary classrooms actually looked like, I just filled the classroom with sinks, tables, chairs, doors, whiteboards, and literally anything that I could think of that gives a teaching environment. With that, this is the final product that I absolutely cooked up. I even added some good-looking bathrooms to the boys on the right side of the hallway and the girls on the left part of the hallway. So now it looks like the upper elementary classrooms are finished. The next thing that I need to build is the hallway that goes towards the final rotunda, aka the world language rotunda. And of course I put the most basic office working materials inside the classrooms to suffice the hard-working board of directors that direct the school and put it into the unique direction. And finally, there's the preschool area where early childhood and preschool takes place, and it has many chairs, carpets, tables, and whiteboards for the young children to start their school journey. Since I joined the school way back in 7th grade, I didn't get the chance to learn this environment and anywhere in elementary. And of course, don't forget the restroom. The final thing that I had to build was the athletics hallway. So the first thing I did was to create the crew changing rooms for those who wish to do PE. And yes, I constructed the girls changing rooms. Girls that go to the school, please don't cancel for me for this. I'm sorry. I just had to build a school in Minecraft Parkour. After this, I created many of the rooms for the PE features of the tables, barrels that are full of PE supplies, and some electric things for no reason. Oh yeah, and don't forget that I already created the fitness room. I also created another changing room that links the hallway with the pool, which is how many students change into swimming clothes. And yes, I also created changing rooms for the girls. Sorry.
Okay, it looks like the school is done.
Almost.
Anyways, I think I've covered like every single room here in my school. But there's still one problem that I commonly encounter. The problem is that outside, it looks like it's seen better days. You know what we need to do now? We need to make some outdoor.
So I took the time to terraform the area around the school, creating many paths from the village, and also planting many different trees and greenery. Along with this, I plan to create some more houses and infrastructure around this area, so I hope to make good use of it. I even terraformed some areas near the school to make it feel more natural, and it wouldn't feel like I just manually placed tens of thousands of blocks just to create a school. I also decided to create some palm trees to signify the climate in my school. And I also took the time to create the interior of the boss, because I almost forgot to do that. But anyways, after 3 months of planning and 1 month of building this real life school, it looks like it is finished.
Alright, so after like 3 months of doing it, my school is finally finished, and I spent like a lot of time like navigating the floor map. It's taken me like a lot of like knowledge about the game, the geometry, dimensions, all that stuff. Oh my gosh, epic. But anyways, yeah, that's basically my school. A lot of greenery in the outside because of course we are up here in the sunny hills. As stated earlier. This is of course the con. I think that's how I enter school every day. So yeah, over here is at the ES hallways with a lot of great classrooms. Oh my gosh, that if you go upstairs, we got many of these great classrooms. The middle school, always like pre-algebra, and of course like mathematics, and of course like a lot of our restrooms chilling over here. But I mean, of course, there's also the other hallways. So you can have like there's the old biology room. Oh yeah, that's biology again. There's the band room. That's where all the vibing, the trumpeting, the yapping, the music is there. Oh yeah, that feels like I'm the genius. So yeah, this is just the band practice rooms. I think a lot of people are just gonna practice the piano. Oh yeah, and don't forget this is the choir room. I think there's also a piano here because of course I don't know, I'm not an expert in choir, but I think this is useful to many choir students here. There's also learning support right here. This is where learning support is. I think it's like it's an optional class that many people can take. And there's also computer science, the high-tech savvy, Texas, Genius, Austin, Silicon Valley. This is where Silicon Valley is like actually like created. And of course here I learned a lot about the history of video games because my teacher, computer science teacher, is a flippin' gamer. There's also the tech office. This is where all the tech savvies are. This is where Mark Zuckerberg absolutely like cooks up his, and of course Jeff Bezos. Oh yeah, don't forget some random rooms, and also this is right here is my world language area. So this is where you learn new language. This is where you're fluent in like Italian or something. Right. Well, of course, what is learned here is Spanish, French, and Arabic, because Arabic is somehow learned in my school because I actually live in an Arab country, not Los Angeles. Okay, this right here is the Arabic rooms and the French rooms, the middle school French. Too bad baguettes are in Minecraft. Oh yeah, and over here is the preschool area. This is where all the like preschoolers like absolutely chill. And this right here is one of the biggest performance arts centers in my school. This is the Bosch Center. This is where the middle school and high school band choir like absolutely like cook their song. Yeah, and don't forget there's also like some areas back there, because of course you can't have band without a green room. I think this is where all the theater type happens. And P.S. there was actually an music artist that actually went to this school before. Of course, these are some random parking lots. I think this is where how many students could get into bands like comedy. Because I remember I had a social right there in that Bosch Center. Did plenty of breakdancing there. Oh yeah, and over there's the athletics facility. So this right here is the swimming pool, home of Michael Phelps, home of McDonald's. I got you. I mean, why do you have to speed run a 200-meter freestyle? Or wait, this isn't freestyle. This is breaststroke. But anyways, there's also plenty of changing rooms here. I'm not gonna go in because I don't want to disturb any privacy. Okay, and also over here is the random offices, and of course the high-tech fitness center. This is where I bench pressed 1 pound. Okay, these are some more changing rooms. Athletics department. This is the blue gym. I think one of my school's like more like famous gyms. So wait, this is I think where most like sport games are. And I mean, some of the athletes that represent the school or actually go to other countries in the region to probably compete in basketball, volleyball, football, and of course this is the art room. This is where you express your creativity. Oh yeah, and there's another performance hall here. This right here is the performance hall. This is the stage. This is where you go stage front. And there's also plenty of audience, plenty of seating, and also this tech stuff at the back, because we are not tech savvy. Oh yeah, and over here is the library commons. This is where I think all the kids gain their literacy. And of course, don't forget upstairs. This is the middle school library and commons. And dang, it's beautiful. It's absolutely cooking. And of course, these are some random stuff. And yeah, this is called the middle school library commons. So of course, don't forget biology, and don't forget that yada yada. And of course, there's the health room. And these random rooms are right there. And then over here is this is the high school hallway. So this is where I chill. This is where I chill. And of course, there's chemistry room. There's world history, psychology, where you learn stonks. There's also this. I don't know what that is. Chemistry again. English. I think this is where I had English. And of course, over here, these are some random high school classrooms over there. And of course, this is where I have lunch. The cafeteria. The cafeteria has like a lot of great stuff, great amenities over here. Hold on. And of course, downstairs is also a big kitchen there, because the ES cafeteria is where like most of the cafeteria food is like served. So this is where the kitchen of my school like absolutely like cooks up like the best food. Oh yeah, and upstairs there's the new STEM room for high school. There's biology, where you learn about marine creatures, DNA, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. There's computer science. That's where game design is learned. That's where I learned about many programming languages, many different like mechanics, many different men. There's also physics. There's also where you learn string theory, metaphysics, quantum theory. There's also chemistries. So maybe I don't know if string theory is taught chemistry or physics, but likely that chemistry is like most of where you yap about the periodic table. But yeah, anyways, that seems like great. And of course, like if you go downstairs real quick, there's also the lower elementary area. This is where I think this is like just classrooms or something. This is a very nice school, and of course the outside. We need to get to the outside actually. So we need to go to this bed. Don't ask why I have bed outside. And of course, I did have entrances there. And of course, there's also the basketball courts, the cheese, the egg yogurt, to the McDonald's, the egg yogurt, to the playground, the basketball court. And of course, this right here is where track happens in soccer as well. And of course, if you remember. So yeah, anyways, that seems to be it. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely, this actually goes flipping hard. Such a great opportunity. So I like the light of a hideout, and hopefully I'll see you later.
Chicken Jockey, what are you doing here? You aren't supposed to be here for like 100 episodes.
All your questions will be answered.
After you tell me your high school experience in this school.
What?